Hey guys, happy Halloween. Welcome to Khanvolution. My name's Khan, and right now I'm going to be discussing a little bit of RWBy Volume 4. I know Volume 7 is just around the corner. I'm so happy that you guys have that to look forward to in about 2 days now. Yeah, right? It's on November 2nd when it comes out, right? I can't wait to catch up to you guys. I'm still running. I'm still trying to catch up and get to Volume 7. I don't know if I can get it by the time that Volume 7 ends, but I will certainly try to. And I was just about to jump on RWBy Volume 4, Chapter 4, but I thought, you know what? I really need to get some of these ideas out there, you know, and I thought since it's Halloween, why not discuss the villains that were introduced in RWBy Volume 4 Chapter 1, because I'm sure they'll be, but by the time we're in Volume 7 where you guys are, that you'll definitely have seen these villains a lot more than obviously that I have, hopefully, you know. So but everything that I'm discussing right now is just, you know, the ideas that I've thought of while watching, rewatching some of the RWBy Volume 4 Chapter 1 specifically, since they were introduced in Chapter 1, and of course, you know, going over a lot of the comments that you guys have shared, not only in the comment section down below, but also on the Discord, which, by the way, come over to my Discord, share your RWBy memes, share any kind of artwork, any kind of ideas that you guys have over there, remaining spoiler free, of course, as always. And with that all being said, let's go ahead and talk about the villains of RWBy Volume 4 that have been introduced, because man, oh man, when these villains were introduced, I was like, god damn. Because, you know, in Volume 3, what ended up happening was that Roman ended up dying, and I was actually quite sad about that, because I really liked Roman as a villain, you know, despite the fact that he was a very cliched villain, a kind of whimsical villain, saying sort of cliched villainous lines to specifically RWBy, had a specific vendetta against RWBy, seeing as how she was the one who ended up, you know, foiling his plans in Chapter 1 specifically, you know what I'm saying. I guess what's made Roman's absence, or the lack of his presence, that much more acceptable is the fact that, and many of you guys have said this in the comments, is that the huge tribunal, or rather this board meeting of other villains out there, higher ranking villains, and then you get to see the freaking, you know, queen of villainy herself, you know, our freaking Maleficent of this series, or dark side of this series, you know, because this tribunal literally reminded me of the Legion of Doom, you know.
Form the most powerful and sinister group the world has ever seen. From now on, will be known as the Legion of Doom.
Some of you guys mentioned in the comments that if you mix all their letters, their name letters together, you basically get Team Witch. You know, Witch, W as Watts, T as in Tyrion, C as in Cinder, and H as in Hazel, bro. That's so crazy, and it makes sense, because, you know, the way that Salem looks, you know, the way that Salem looks on all her black attire, she literally reminds me of the Wicked Witch of the West, since, you know, RWBy has been following a very sort of Wizard of Oz theme. You know, with Oz being, you know, the Wizard of Oz, Glinda Good Witch, Crow, Ironwood, you know. I'm eager to see who our Cowardly Lion is. You know, I don't know if we'll get a chance to see it this volume, but I'm eager to see, you know, how much more of the Wizard of Oz references that we draw upon. But just as much, even not more so, I'm invested in this character of Salem just from her opening entrance into that, you know, briefing room. You know what I'm saying? If I'm able to relate these guys to, you know, the DC villains, the DC Legion of Doom, you know what I'm saying? I would say, you know, Watts, Dr. Watts reminds me of this sort of almost, you know, Lex Luthor sort of Brainiac sort of feel to him, because he seems like an intellectual, you know, not just his accent obviously, but the fact that, you know, he has this sort of air around about him that makes him feel like he's from upper class, not, you know, especially his attire as well. Hazel seems like he's the muscle of the group, you know, he seems like a brute, like a silent brute, you know what I'm saying? Almost reminds me of a Solomon Grundy kind of, you know, from the DC universe. Salem obviously reminds me of, you know, Darkseid, because she's, you know, so villainous, and she even has the red and black color palette that Darkseid has. Cinder almost reminds me of kind of this enchantress slash huntress kind of feel, because, you know, the huntress is kind of like an archer, and mixing the qualities of you know, enchantress with it, you get these magical qualities too. So she literally feels like a mixture between enchantress and huntress. And then you have Tyrion. Yeah, this guy, if I could relate him to anything, I would relate, he looks like a mixture of what would happen if you combined Gollum with freaking the Joker. You know, if you mix the Joker with Gollum, it feels like you would get Tyrion. And thanks to a lot of you guys that mentioned in the comments that Tyrion is actually a color. I actually didn't know that. Tyrion purple apparently is a color. So thank you guys for revealing that. Let's start talking about these bad guys with Dr. Watts, starting off with Dr. Watts. Now, he's the first character other than Dr. Oobleck who has this title of doctor. Now, I don't think animes do this, just like, it can't just be coincidence that this is the only other character that, you know, is a doctor. So if I had to theorize on anything, you know, my theory would be that maybe Dr. Watts and maybe Dr. Oobleck know each other, possibly, probably, plausibly. I don't know, man, because like animes have this tendency of like, if characters have a specific title or share the similar sort of titles or designations, then they generally end up knowing each other. You know, it's kind of like a trope that animes have. I don't know if Research Teeth will be following that same thing, but it'd be crazy if these two doctors actually fought against each other. Maybe they have a history, maybe they went to the same school together, got the same sort of educational background, you know what I'm saying? Because just as Ospen has his own tribunal, like, you know, Glinda, Ironwood, Crow, Salem's got her own group, so it's like they're kind of like contrast opposites of each other. But going back to Dr. Watts, he definitely seems like he has like an interest in like the finer taste, like he enjoys like a nice tea and biscuits, you know, kind of gentleman, kind of like that, you know. His dress attire looks like he's a, you know, a business professional, that kind of person, and he's not afraid to talk sass up to Cinder. That's the other thing I wanted to mention, you know. Even like Emerald, Mercury, and Torchwick, they were all like sort of fearful of Cinder, but these guys, they don't give a shit about Cinder. They talk smack at Cinder. Tyrion talks about, you know, an eye for an eye. Oh, she did take your eye, blah blah. They make tons and tons of fun of Cinder. They don't give a shit about Cinder, and part of what makes me like them is the fact that they do that, because I don't like Cinder, bro. She took away freaking Pyrrha, bro, you know what I'm saying? That still gives me a little bit of pain in my chest, and I can't breathe. But at the same time, it also makes me kind of fearful, because characters who can talk that much smack against Cinder obviously, you know, are equal to her power, if not even more so. And they're not even afraid of her right now, because even after she has acquired maiden powers. So, dude, you know, like, and Salem obviously trusts him to go to Mistral to take care of some business that they have over there, take over after Cinder, because, you know, Cinder's out of commission at the moment. But Dr. Watts, you know, I'm eager to see what his weapon is. The way he's voiced, which, by the way, some of you guys mentioned that he's voiced by Chris Sabat, who's done the voice acting for like Vegeta and Armstrong, Alex Louis Armstrong from the Full Metal Alchemist series, and I just love that. I cannot wait. I really hope, fingers crossed, that Dr. Watts has this scene where he's like, you know, mimics Alex Louis Armstrong, where he's like, this technique has been passed down by the Watts family line for generations, you know what I'm saying? That'd be so freaking tight to hear. And he has like the, you know, scruffy looking mustache too. What is up with these characters and like scruffy looking mustaches, bro? I don't know. It looks like they literally took Jock Schnee and kind of like changed the color of his skin and his hair and then turned him into like Dr. Watts. Does anybody else feel that way? It really, these characters look very similar to one another, I feel like. But yeah, Watts definitely seems like a pretty interesting villain. I can't wait to see what his weapon is or what his fighting style is. I would guess he's something of a, I think he uses maybe like a rapier, kind of like Weiss, like with the one, I imagine Watts holding one hand behind his back and holding a rapier, you know, fighting with his rapier. He doesn't care. He's like drinking tea with one hand and fighting 4 different huntsmen and huntresses and with the other hand. That'd be crazy to see, right? He just seems like that type of person. And he also seems like the type of person that might have a huge army at his disposal, where he just sits back and like moves chess pieces and whatnot, and then they, you know, do the stuff for him. And one of you guys mentioned a couple of volumes ago that Cinder, or actually last volume, Cinder was holding like the scroll, and at the bottom right hand corner of the scroll, it had a little W on it. So one of you guys mentioned that before, and while reading back some of your old comments, that made me think that what if Dr. Watts was the tech expert that helped Cinder with all that stuff? I think one of you guys actually did mention that, but I forgot. So I can't take really credit for figuring that out, I guess. But yeah. That's what I would assume. Maybe you guys can correct me down in the comments. But yeah, if that's the case, then Watts would have to be like, I guess, the tech genius or tech expert of their crew, if Hazel is like the muscle of the crew. I don't know what the hell Tyrion is. But Cinder, I would imagine, is the one responsible for like assassination and espionage. That's why she recruited members like Emerald and Mercury, who are skilled in that sort of, you know, area. That's my idea of Dr. Watts. I would love to see this fool in action, but yeah, he does appear scary and ominous in his own way. Now jumping over to Hazel, like I said, he seemed very quiet. He was the only one who didn't really diss Cinder, you know, outside Salem. Like he didn't really comment too much on Cinder. The only thing he did say was that comment about the silver-eyed warriors before, and they've never caused that much trouble before, so that was like kind of like a, you know, a way of insulting Cinder without really insulting her, you know what I'm saying? And of course Salem sends him to go talk with someone named Sienna Khan. I cannot wait to see who Sienna Khan is. She said that Adam is likely to join with their group, but Sienna Khan might be less inclined to, so it'll be interesting to see what Hazel can do to maybe change Sienna Khan's mind. I cannot say her last name without saying I cannot say her first name without saying her last name, because you know, we're related. But yeah, if I were to picture Hazel with weapons, he reminds me of like, you know, a Yang type of character. I would imagine like he has like gauntlets. He would have like gauntlets, or greaves, you know, like Beowulf and Devil May Cry. I would imagine his weapons are of that nature. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how powerful he really is. He definitely seems like a powerful fella, you know what I'm saying? Tyrion, I can't even understand what Tyrion is, to be honest. So where the hell they found this fool? He definitely seems like an interesting fellow. Like I said, I think he's like a mixture of Gollum and Joker if you mix those two characters together. One of you guys posted a picture on my Discord, and over there you showed me like kind of what Tyrion looks like in his front, you know, like he had like his trappings and stuff, and it really made me think of like Attack on Titan, you know, like the 3D maneuverable gear straps that they wear. It kind of looked like that. So I don't know. I can't really speculate too much on Tyrion. I don't even know what his weapon can be, you know. Maybe it's his hair, his like freaking long ass hair. He like whip that around. I don't know, man. Now jumping over to Cinder, you know, to complete the whole witch thingamajig. Cinder, you obviously see Cinder's got an eye patch. Something happened to her eye, but like from the side you see there's like a scar too. So whatever, I'm guessing that happened from RWBy as well, but I don't know how RWBy, because RWBy's power, like the way Crow mentioned it, are specifically to harm Grimm, right? Now one of you guys mentioned in the comments that Cinder has like that weird parasitic like Grimm insect that was used to take Amber's powers inside of her, so maybe that's why she was a little bit more affected by the silver-eyed warriors' power, you know, because she has a little bit of Grimm inside her. So that's what I was thinking. Maybe that could have been why she was impacted so much. But then Salem mentioned a little bit later that the reason she was impacted so strongly was because she has maiden powers. So that brings up a whole bunch of other theories that I gotta save for another video that I'll share with you guys. But yeah, that made me think. But Cinder can't speak either, and of course now she's like the center of ridicule in the whole freaking tribunal they got going there, and the Emerald has to pretty much speak for her, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't feel any sympathy for Cinder, bro. You took away Pyrrha from us, bitch. You gonna get your comeuppance, you know, get your just desserts. And, you know, I'm just glad, you know, the rest of your teammates are just hating on you that much more. So, you know, I don't care, man. She gets what she deserves. And Salem, or Salim, as I like to call her, freaking Salim. I can't really, I feel like this woman, like you know how I would picture other people's weapons and stuff? I feel like this lady doesn't even need weapons, you know what I'm saying? She just, her presence like has this sort of energy about it. The moment she enters into the hallway, everybody turns silent. Even Watts, who's so like, you know, enjoying his moment ridiculing Cinder, takes a little bit of pause, you know, and she tells everybody to do their individual jobs. It feels like she is kind of sympathetic towards Cinder, almost seeing Cinder kind of like a daughter, and like that whole scene itself, the way she was, you know, talking about Cinder, really made me feel like the scene from Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, where Snape, after killing Dumbledore, sits down right next to Voldemort, and Voldemort's like, you know, oh, he's my prized son, you know, he's defeated my arch enemy, he defeated Dumbledore. It's kind of like that, the way Salem was treating Cinders. Like, she accomplished her mission, she killed Ozpin for us, you know. And I'm not, I don't think Ozpin's dead just yet, you know what I'm saying? So hold your horses. But I love the character of Salem that was introduced. I'm just so glad that the villain, our world of evil has expanded so much more at the cost of our heroes, of course. But that's just the great world building, that's just great storytelling. We've expanded the story that much more, we've expanded the world that much more, and I'm just eager to see what all these villains are capable of, because just from this one scene alone, this is what, 5-minute scene alone, we get so much context for what can possibly happen much later on in these volumes. And it just, you know, it builds up my hype so much more, you know. And I feel like that's what a lot of RWBy has been missing till this point. Is like, we've always had Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury, right? And of course Torchwick as well, but I felt like it really missed a lot of this like grander opposing force, and volume 3 really made up for that with that crazy ending, the last couple of volumes. You guys obviously can check out my reaction to that. Yeah, I'm just glad it's expanded that much more, and which makes me think we have much worse things up ahead. Obviously you guys know, because you've already seen a lot of these upcoming volumes. But yeah, I apologize if I missed anything else, but I feel like I've covered a lot of my ideas that I had going into this. Yeah, man, I cannot wait to see what this volume lies. I'm probably going to be checking out RWBy Volume 4, Chapter 4 right now, right after talking with you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that discussion video. You guys can leave down your comments down below. I can't wait to read all your comments. But hopefully I'm on the right track. And even if I'm not, I don't care. This is fun as hell, just like theorizing and stuff. And hopefully by the time I've caught up with Volume 7, I can theorize alongside spoiler-filled discussions all with you guys. You know, so come over to my Discord, share your memes. I'm going to be releasing another video very soon, which is going to be a reaction to RWBy memes that have been placed on my Discord. So if you guys have any other memes you want to share, then you guys can come over to Discord, share your memes, share your artwork. I'm going to react to all of it and present it to you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the discussion. What did you guys think? Leave your comments down below. If you guys haven't done so already, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscription button, like, share the video with any other fans out there. If you guys don't have Discord, hit me up on Instagram, hit me up on Twitter, communicate with me, guys. I'll be happy to hear your thoughts and ideas. I already do with a lot of the people who watch Khanvolution. And with that all being said, I'll see you guys later in the next video, which will hopefully be RWBy Volume 4, Chapter 4 reaction. I cannot wait. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please subscribe, hit that like button, and feel free to share the video. And I'll see you guys next time.